Welcome to the very first episode of Exotic Flavors and Fitness on YouTube. Now, the reason why I decided to do this Christmas series is because usually around Christmas time, I do have a lot of questions from friends and family members. You know, like, how do you do banana cake? I need the recipe for chin chin. When do you start your Christmas cake? And lots more. And so this Christmas, I decided to sacrifice the time and come up with not only showing you the recipes, but sharing the method I do use. It's called Level for Love, you know. So I hope you all will be subscribing to this channel and sharing the videos as wide as you can. When it's Christmas, you begin with Christmas cake. And that's because we want to give it the time to feed it as well as let it mature nicely. Why don't you come closer? Let's talk about the ingredients. Now, over here, I have got 1 kilogram of mixed dried fruit. And here you have some raisins, some currants, and some sultanas. I've also got some mixed peel, orange peel in here. So next to the dried fruits, I've got some soft brown sugar. I also have all-purpose flour, some butter, lemon rind, orange rind, and over here I've got some spices, flavors. I've got mixed spices, I've got nutmeg, cloves, and baking powder. Then you have some ground almonds, you've got some chopped almonds, as well as chopped pecan nuts. This one I love very much, Macedonia candida. Some people call it tutti frutti. It is actually made out of papaya or pawpaw as we call it in Cameroon. So you have raw pawpaw with some sugar, vanilla, and coloring. It is amazing. I so love the texture. And then I also have some glacé cherries here. And over to the liquid, you've got the juice from the orange, you've got the lemon juice, I've got vanilla, and here is black treacle or molasses as people call it in America. This is going to give the cake that rich dark color. It's optional, so if you don't want to use it, it's up to you. But I really like my Christmas cake dark and rich. And over here again as well, I have got some alcohol. Now you could use either rum, whiskey, sherry for your Christmas cake. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to be alcohol. Some people are not into alcohol, so this could be replaced with a non-alcoholic drink. You could have maybe apple juice, orange juice, or even tea. I mean plain tea that we drink. So that's that, but I really love the flavor of the whiskey. So what are we going to do? We are going to boil our fruits. We want it plump, we want it juicy, and that will help to give your cake that moist texture. No dried fruit cakes here, guys. So I will simply put in my fruits in here in my pot or in my pan. I'm gonna add butter to it. And then the alcohol, the sugar too. I'll set it on the fire, and once it starts to boil, I will turn it down and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. So in my pan, I have got the dried fruits, I have got the butter, I've got the alcohol. I am also going to be introducing the black treacle. Remember, like I said, this is what's going to give the cake that rich, deep, dark color. So beautiful people, our time is now up. I've left it to simmer for about 7 minutes, and the next thing is to transfer that mixture into this bowl. You do not want to leave it here in this pan, otherwise it would continue to cook and it's going to take a longer time to cool down. So once it cools down nicely and completely, then we'll be adding the rest of the ingredients. I'll see you in a bit. Now our fruit has cooled down. And the next thing I'm going to do, I will start off with the dry ingredients. And I'm going to mix up the baking powder, seasoning, spices. That's the nutmeg, the cloves, and the mixed spices. I'm also going to add the zest, all with the flour, and I'll whisk gently. Until it's nicely incorporated. And here now, I'm going to pour in the lemon juice as well as the orange juice. And to be quite honest with you guys, you could have boiled your fruits with these juices. I'll mix it and then I'm going to put the eggs. Train your taste buds or your palates to rise up to the occasion. It's Christmas, guys. It's Christmas. No Christmas without a Christmas cake. And that's why we start with it. Yeah. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I've just poured in the eggs and right now I am putting in the almonds, the ground almonds. Right, and then now I'm going to put in the nuts. In no particular order, honestly guys, in no particular order. I could very well have put in the flour like I'm doing now. And remember, the flour has got the zest and oh my goodness, the flavor coming out of this, wow, it is amazing. This is Christmas, you know. When you do your Christmas cake, you know Christmas is around the corner. So you go right deep, make sure that everything is well incorporated. Don't forget your spatula. This is a small one. I could do with a bigger one. This is a big mixture. I think this mixture will go into a 10-inch cake dish. Right, and then your glacé cherries. I did not like to boil this one. I love the texture as it is, and you know, there's no need boiling them. Right, everything is well mixed up. This is what the mixture looks like. It is quite heavy. So if you have this kind of consistency, do not worry. That's how it should be. So I'm going to spoon it now. And I am using a 10-inch pan because it is a big mixture. And I will be sharing the recipe in the description box below. And you see the color, you see how dark it is. That is because of the black treacle. So there we go. I'm going to tap it a little bit just so that any air bubbles escape. And then I'll put it in the oven. Like I said, 1 hour. Then I will turn the heat down a little bit and I'm going to cover it up with foil paper. Our cake is now ready and I left it in the oven for exactly 1 hour 20 minutes. So if you come closer, you can appreciate how it is. Now, the next thing I'll be doing, I'll be putting in the liquor. Remember, as I said at the start, you could use whiskey, sherry, brandy, rum. It all depends on you, or you could go non-alcoholic with whatever fruit juice you like. At this stage, I will be feeding the cake. So when you hear someone say they've got to feed your Christmas cake, this is what it means. You take a skewer or maybe a toothpick and you give it some pricks, about 10 to 12 depending on the size of the cake. And I've lost count now. And then I've also got a few cracks there which I could just use. You feed it. So you should do this once a week. And then you double wrap your cake in parchment paper and then foil paper. Another thing you would want to know is you could do this straight from the oven. I just let it cool down a little bit. So you could take it out of the oven and in its cake tin, you just feed it like I have done. Or you could let it to cool out a little bit and feed it. I just decided to take it out of the pan so that you see the cake in its full glory. So you make sure you go all over the cake. And that's a beautiful cake we've got. Thank you. Our cake has now been wrapped up in parchment paper, 2 layers, as well as 2 layers of foil paper. You need to keep it airtight. We don't want any moisture to go in, as this can cause your cake to go moldy. So the beauty about this cake is the fact that it can keep for long. It has a prolonged shelf life, and you could make it even up to 2-3 months prior to Christmas, and you continue to feed it every week with whatever liquid you prefer. So right now I'll be taking it to an airtight container. I am sorry I wasn't able to cut the cake for you to see what it looks like inside, and that's because this is my Christmas cake. I don't want to spoil it before Christmas. And if I have the time, guys, if I do have the time, we shall decorate this cake together. You would see how I'm going to put a layer of marzipan and then a layer of icing. So if you're good to me and I find the time, we should do it together. Take care now. Love you. Bye. Bye-bye.